Hello, everyone. I've got a special guest today. If you watch the Cohn Phone, you know him. And if you're on Facebook, you might belong to his group. He is the founding member of 49ers Fans for Life, and he is a loyal weekly caller of the Cohn Phone, Michael Miller. Michael, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're going to have a mock draft today. I've been resisting doing one because it's a lot of work, but you put me on the spot. So I'm ready. I got a bunch of picks, and we're going to get there eventually. But why don't we just talk big picture first? I've been saying that I don't think the Niners should take a quarterback. I don't trust any of these guys. I don't look at any of them and say it's definitely going to be great. But the Niners have said they're going to take a quarterback, and let's explain, why they're willing to take this risk.
Well, I think they don't trust Jimmy G to play 16 games a season plus the playoffs. He's shown that he can't do it. He's been injured, 2 out of the 3 years that he's been a Niner. Cal don't trust him. He can't, Cal wants somebody that he can mentor and stuff like that, that's fresh, clean, new start, and he wants his guy. In other words, somebody that he can trust that can make the throws he wants to throw and, do everything like Cal wants it done.
I think that's what people don't – what's tough to understand is, do you want a great quarterback? Do you see someone there that's going to be great, or do you just want someone that you think is going to be better than Jimmy and good enough for you to win a Super Bowl with the current? I don't really know what they're targeting, but I guess that's what they're looking at. It's just handle the position and don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
I guess.
As far as our needs go in the draft, I think we have to hit on 4 players. If you don't hit on all 4 of them, it's going to be very bad for us. I think quarterback, number 1, you're going to have to hit on it.
Yep.
We're going to have to get a slot wide receiver.
Yep.
Somebody that can be the 3rd wide receiver.
Yep.
And I think cornerback, because we can't go into next season only having 1 corner signed and have all these free agents again. So we got to hit on a corner so that we're not in that shape that we have been. And I think we need to hit on an interior line guy, either left or right guard.
All right, fair enough. Let's talk quarterbacks real quick, though, before we get into our mock draft. Which ones do you think, just in terms of, let's say the Niners look at it this way, that all the quarterbacks in the top 5, 2 through 5, take Trevor Lawrence out of it, are basically in the same tier. They like him equally, but they acknowledge each one has different strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to pick based on fit. Which one do you think fits the best? How would you rank them? How would you break it down?
Well, I think fitting-wise, I think Zach Wilson fits better than any of them.
Okay.
Then I would have to go with Trey Lance, then Mac Jones.
Okay.
I don't think the guy from Ohio State, Fields, fits our system.
Why?
I think he holds on to the ball too long.
I feel like I agree that he might be great and he might be just as good as any of these guys, but he's going to be better suited in a system that wants to get the ball down the field and doesn't put a premium on getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly. The Niners are so committed to screen passes. It's such a big part of their offense. And I don't think that's necessarily something that Justin Fields does well. Those quick little throws, Kaepernick didn't throw those. It wasn't really part of his game either. I actually think Trey Lance does them pretty well. I agree with you. I don't think Fields is really a fit here. He could be a fit somewhere else.
I think he'd be perfect for Denver, that type of system.
Okay.
Same thing like Peyton Manning did.
That's a good point. Denver could trade up, especially if Fields is there at 4. Atlanta wants to trade down. I don't think they would trade Justin Fields. They have the worst defense in the league, and they're committed to Matt Ryan for now. So they could trade down. Denver could trade up, take Justin Fields at 4. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think all of the quarterbacks, the top 5, are going to be going in the top 7 or 8 picks.
Okay.
I think it's going to be that. I think there's a lot of teams that's going to come up. Carolina's still going to come up for a quarterback. I think Atlanta still is 50-50 on whether they're going to take one or not. Okay. I know New England's going to come up. I don't see them sitting there because I know the Cam Newton thing didn't look good last year, and I don't think they're going to put all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
I look for them to have to come up in order to fight to get somebody.
Yep. I see that. All right, let's do this mock draft. I'm excited. So here's how we're going to do it. This is what we think the Niners are going to do, and some of it will overlap in what they think they should do. But I'm not going to put Kyle Pitts number one. That's what I would do. But we're going to do our best to pretty much project what the Niners are going to do in this draft. I think it's a fun exercise. It's my first attempt at a mock draft. We got 2 weeks to go. Let's do it, man. Pick number 3. How is this going to go down?
Okay, I'm saying Trey Lance now at this point in time, because from a few things that I heard where they didn't try to get the Jets pick, that they were trying to get the 6th overall pick. So I think Trey Lance and Mac Jones are the only two that would or could have been available at that pick. Yeah. So I think they take the guy with the better upside, Trey Lance, over even Mac Jones, even though Mac Jones may fit their system a little bit better. I just worry about a few things that we talked about before on this. That's why
Mac Jones had at least one DUI in his past. People don't bring it up that much. If it were an issue with Justin Fields, it would be talked about a lot. We don't really know that much about it, so we're going to leave it alone. But it needs to be said that Mac Jones definitely has an issue in his past, and that's part of the evaluation here. It's part of the total package. There's a question. And look at his
Trey Lance has the biggest upside. That's why I'm going with it.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, surprisingly, I'm going to have the same pick here. I know the media thinks it's going to be Mac Jones. 49ers Twitter is hoping it's going to be Justin Fields. I agree with you. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's – he might like Justin Fields, but he's not going to change his offense to accommodate Justin Fields. It's too predicated on the short, quick.
Not when you don't have to change it. Because there's other people here that you don't have to change it for.
Right. I mean, he might like Justin Fields, but he could like Trey Lance just as much. And the thing about Trey Lance is he is really good on the screen passes. He's very good on the short, quick stuff, and he's even bigger than Justin Fields. Not quite as fast, but doesn't have to be. He can run over people the way Cam Newton and Josh Allen do. Doesn't have Josh Allen's arm, but might have Cam Newton's. He has all this experience from a pro-style offense, which doesn't hurt. I do think that, listen, everyone, from what I'm hearing, I don't have the greatest sources, but the sources I have in the league all think there's no way the Niners take Mac Jones. Until they have information, it's just their best guess. And I believe it. I know a lot of Adam Schefter, Peter King, Matt Mayoko think they will. I'm going to respectfully go with my sources and think that the Niners are going to have a big surprise for us on draft night, and it's going to be Trey Lance. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Plus, with Trey Lance, too, with his size and stuff, he could take a beating much more than any of these other guys and be around for 16 games.
Chris Bucco says Trey Lance plus 45 on FanDuel. I don't know what the other part of that is, but I guess he's saying if you can make some money if you think it's Trey Lance. Well, here's the thing. Anytime I bet, I lose money. So I just like to gamble my reputation because I can handle that. The money is not as fun, Chris. All right, pick number 43. What's going to happen then? We agree on Trey Lance.
I think we're going to have a trade before that. And here's the mock trade.
Okay.
I think Jimmy G's going to be traded on the first night of the draft.
Okay.
And I think being the Chicago Bears or New England can't get up and get their guy because everybody's going to flood up to take everybody before they get there, that one of the two teams is going to have to take him. And we need draft capital big time because there's two more big needs we need, which is cornerback and another defensive end, because we can't trust D Ford to be there. And I know that rookie, or not rookie, but the guy we brought in from the Rams, can you count on them being a star defensive end for us in our defense?
Yeah, it's a projection. We got to see.
So I think, I know we're probably not going to mock it, but I expect a trade at this point in time to either get the 20th overall pick or a couple second round picks in a trade to get extra draft capital.
Who are you going to take when you move up?
If we get that draft pick, I'm going to say we're going to take a corner, Samuel Jr. from Florida State.
Okay, I like it. I like how you maneuvered.
Yeah,
here's what I'm going with.
He's a prospect that's probably around 22 to 32 range, and with that trade, we can get him. Either that or Eric Stokes would be my backup pick.
Okay,
which is the Georgia one who ran a 4.25 at 6'1" at his pro day.
Yep. I see you're targeting corner. Taylor says corner. I would go corner. I think Kyle is going to go wide receiver because that's what he likes to do. He was a wide receiver.
Or defensive lineman, like
Our
we always
defensive
do.
line. I've been thinking Kadarius Toney, but everything I see from him is that he's going to be a late first-round pick. Now, I did see this morning that there was something about airsoft guns at Florida where he was pointing at airsoft. Who knows? It sounds like stupid kid pranks, but it's also the kind of thing that could affect the kid's draft stock by, cost them a couple $100,000. You know what I'm saying? So if he was the 24th pick, maybe he could fall to 43. And I don't think the Niners wouldn't take him at 43 because he made a 21-year-old mistake. But if he ain't there, I do think the Niners need a slot receiver. And the guy that seems to be projected right in the middle of round 2 is Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. He's about 5'9". He played in the slot for them. He runs a 4.34, which means he could play outside. He's got the speed to stretch the field, kind of like Taylor Gabriel.
Are you familiar with Jalen Derwin?
No.
Is how you pronounce it, I think, from North Texas.
No.
Check him out. He's a slot wide receiver.
Okay.
What do you have? Some 90-some catches this year, and 10 to 13 TDs this year, I believe it was. Okay. And he's had 3 years of big numbers.
Okay. All right.
That's a guy to look at.
All right. I'm sticking with Elijah Moore at 43. I think that's going to be the spot. I think they're going to take Elijah Moore at 43, the 5'9" slot receiver from Ole Miss.
And we need one. I like him too. He's my number one slot receiver.
He's good. And the fact that he's got the speed to run out to line up outside that will help because he's going to have to play.
Can he also kick return and punt return?
Let me see. I just found out about him this morning, so hold on.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, with that, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, he returned punts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He returned kicks as well.
And that's a huge need for us.
Absolutely. So Elijah Moore. All right, let's move on to round 3, pick 102 right at the end.
Pick 102, I got Bobby Brown, the third defensive tackle from, I believe he's Texas Tech.
Okay. Tell me about
He's 6'3", 325 pounds. Had 5 sacks this season. Huge upside on him.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with a cornerback. He's 6'1", 198, and he's from Stanford. His name is Paulson Adebo. I think John Lynch can't resist. He's a bigger corner. I think the Niners go corner there. They haven't taken a corner before round 3 since, I want to say, Shawntae Spencer almost 20 years ago. So right at the end of round 3 probably would be the earliest that they would take one unless they traded up. Paulson
Adebo. He's ranked 95th on the board that I go by.
Okay, well, maybe he won't be available on CBS. He was available a little bit later. But I'm going to best I can do, Paulson Adebo. If there's a different cornerback you think is more realistic at that spot, let me know.
No, I think he would be there.
I think that would be someone I think they might target. People in the comment section seem to like the Adebo pick, cornerback from Stanford, most of the class, yada, yada, yada. There's also a guy from Cal, Cam Bynum, who's pretty good, but the ranking I saw had Bynum ahead of him. So I don't know. All right, let's move on. 117, 15 picks later.
You got to look at the offensive line, interior offensive line. I've got Ben Cleveland from Georgia or Dante Brown from Alabama. Both of them are interior guards.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. I would agree with you. I think the Niners should prioritize their offensive line way more than they do. But I feel like they're going to – last year it was Colton McKivitz in round 5. Unless they're taking an offensive tackle, the top 10 pick, they just don't prioritize it. Or a center. So at this point, I think they're going to kick the can on the offensive line and they're going to go DB again. They need a safety because Jaquiski Tart can't stay healthy. They don't seem to believe in Tavarius Moore or Marcel Harris. So I'm going to say Divine Diablo because it's the greatest name of all time, 6'3", 226, Virginia Tech. Divine Diablo in round 4 to the 49ers.
You can't go wrong with Virginia Tech secondary people.
They're very good, right?
A lot of good ones. Yeah, they are.
Juan Thornhill. Yeah, a lot of guys. Caleb Farley. Yep, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Juan Thornhill went to Virginia, excuse me. Anyway. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
to 155.
156.
156.
Yeah. I got Trey Hill center. I know we got Alex Mack, but we do need a second center on the team. And he can also play interior guard as well.
Got it. Got it. That's a good pick. All right. I'm going with, I still think the Niners are going to wait on offensive line. I think the Niners want another running back, and they drafted Joe Williams in round 4. I think they want a guy to replace at least Tevin Coleman on the team. And Chuba Hubbard is 6 feet 210, plays fast, played in like an outside zone system. Seems like the kind of guy Kyle Shanahan would like. I think Chuba Hubbard, the running back from Oklahoma State, in the middle of round 4 is going to be the way that he leans.
Yeah, he's one of my guys that I like.
All right, 172.
Yeah, one thing I like about running back, though, is too, we need to get somebody that's in the 210, 215, 220 range.
Exactly.
We need a big guy.
Because even Jeff Wilson Jr., who's the hardest running guy on the team, weighs about what, 200? 198? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He's not, not big yet.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? But now 173. I've got us taking a left tackle that you can kick and play as a right tackle. The Niners have also interviewed him several times. BYU, Brady, Christensen.
Okay. The Niners have interviewed him. Anything we need to know about him?
I mean, he's a heck of a left tackle for BYU. Has given up, I think, 4 sacks in total of 3 years at BYU.
How old is he? Is he 30? Sorry. Some of those BYU guys are old.
No, he's like 22.
I did notice watching Zach Wilson that his pockets were just fantastic. All right.
You can't go wrong with the BYU line.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go at 170. Was it 173?
173.
Okay. I'm going to go with an edge rusher. He's from the ACC. He went to Duke. He's 6'2", 265. His name is Victor Demukajay. He had 21 sacks in 4 seasons. NFL.com compares him to Carl Lawson. Low to the ground, compact, strong, explosive. Not a great draft for edge rushers, but the Niners need one. Victor Demukajay.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt.
No, it couldn't hurt. He's the number 2 pass rusher on that team. Chris Rump II is the first guy.
Okay. Pick 180.
And that's where I'm going with Chris Rump II. Nice. In every mock draft I've ever seen, he is a late 5th round pick. And that's who I'm picking. 6'3", 225. I think he's put up probably close to 17 sacks in 3 seasons.
Okay. All right. Now I'm getting deep into players that I only started looking at this morning. And I'm definitely stealing from this guy I know named Brett Osborne. Brett, if you're watching, it was all you, baby. Thank you. So I'm going now with a guard from Notre Dame who seems to be ranked a little bit higher, but you never know. Aaron Banks.
But he's been dropping so much in everybody's mocks, even though he's like at 125 or something like that.
Yeah.
Is where he's ranked at.
If he keeps dropping, maybe the Niners could get him at 180. Notre Dame's had a pretty good pedigree developing offensive linemen. Maybe he could help Mike McGlinchey get his career back on track. So Aaron Banks, 180.
Well, I think Mike McGlinchey needs to be benched.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he'll have to
work. Dander Brunskill at that position played a heck of a lot better.
I agree. All right, 194.
195. You won behind.
195.
Every time. Sorry. Yeah. I know one of your guys said this yesterday on there. The Dax Mill, whatever, the BYU slot corner or slot wide receiver.
Yeah.
I like him there at that position.
Okay, he's a good one. Someone's really trying to call you right now.
I know. It ain't no spam. I don't need car insurance.
That's funny.
It's one of them things.
Okay, I'm going to go to the offensive line here. Penn State center, 6'4", 300 pounds. His name is Michael Menet. I'm going to go with a big center.
Okay, then we got 230.
230, last one.
Yep.
Who you got?
I'm going to pick another defensive end. Let me get his name real quick. It is. Wait 1 second. McCombs, and his last name is Koonce from Buffalo.
Okay.
How do you pronounce that last name?
I have no idea.
Kuntz or something like that?
Kuntz.
Yeah.
Kuntz. All right. My guy at 230, this is someone I really like, someone I've thought a lot about. He's a tight end. His name is Quentin Morris. He went to Bowling Green, and he recently ran a 4.58 40-yard dash. Couldn't hurt to get a little bit more juice at the tight end spot, especially since they're not taking Kyle Pitts, which is the guy I would take in round one. So the end of the draft, a tight end, even though I love Ross Dwell, he couldn't hurt to have one more.
Is that your favorite player in the entire draft?
Who? Kyle Pitts? Yeah, I think he's going to be great.
Mine's Devontae Smith. That would be the only non-quarterback guy. If we were to pick somebody at number 3, I would not be mad at, would be Devontae Smith. I think he's the best player in the draft.
Why do you think Devontae Smith is better than Kyle Pitts?
Well, Kyle Pitts can't block. He's a glorified big wide receiver. He's not a tight end.
Okay.
Remember the tight end, Marcus Colston, that played for the New Orleans Saints? That's what he is. He's going to be listed as a tight end, even though he's not going to play anything but passing game.
It seems to me, though, that even if you call him a wide receiver, he's bigger than Devontae Smith. He's faster.
He's going to be nasty.
Yeah. He's going to be really good, even if you call him just a receiver.
Yeah. But I just think Devontae Smith is just, Mac Jones ought to buy him a brand new house after they both get paid. Devontae Smith, wow.
Yeah.
I could see him within 2 years being all pro every year for the next 10 years.
All right.
He's going to be, I say he'd be the best wide receiver in the draft. If you do fantasy football and you have a dynasty league, draft him first off.
My concern with Devontae Smith is that, great player, but look at his legs. How
long and lanky.
How big is he? The thing about Kyle Pitts is it's just such an obvious projection. He's got size, the speed, everything.
But how would he
care what you call
Niners, though, is what I'm saying. Being that we got George Kittle, that automatically bumps him, and he's not going to see the field as much as he could. He's not, but
H-back. Like Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was never in line. He was always off. He was always a move tight end. This guy would be so much better than him at that. There's been this. Antonio Gates wasn't a great blocker. Tony Gonzalez was nothing as a blocker. This guy's going to be. I think he's a better prospect than Tony Gonzalez.
He's probably going to be the number 1 tight end and first team All-Pro every year.
Yeah, I would imagine
he's going to make some quarterback a very happy person.
And then Penei Sewell as well. I think he's about as safe. I think he's going to be a perennial All-Pro.
If he gets past Cincinnati, I'll be shocked.
Absolutely. So to me, it seems like this draft, you have those 2 guys who everyone likes. And then then there's the receivers. A lot of people like Smith and Chase. But after that, there's no, Rashawn Slater is kind of small, kind of short-armed.
Short-armed.
There's no edge.
There is no other stars after that, in my opinion.
That's why all these quarterbacks are being pushed up to the front, because there's no Chase Young, Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner guy who's like, well, wait a second. These guys play premium positions too, and they're like better prospects. It's only really the tight end and the left tackle. And the left tackle went to Oregon and didn't play last year. So that's why 5 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 5 picks, but it doesn't necessarily, it's kind of a weird draft.
It is.
Kind of a weird draft. Yeah.
There's the pass rush is weak this year. It's just a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on this year that it's not a normal draft.
Absolutely not. And I really don't envy these teams trying to scout, because you have less evidence than before, less raw data, less games. Imagine taking Trey Lance at 3. trading up for him and feeling like, we feel really confident about this. He didn't play last year. When he played, he was 19. That's tough. I mean, you could do all the homework you want, but it's not even Trey Lance's fault. It's just the price of doing business during the pandemic. It's what
and no combine where you can see each of them throw against each other.
Really
that's really a killer.
It really is. So there's going to be more guesswork than normal, I think, this year, and I think there's going to be more like wild busts. Like
there's going to be a lot of misses this year.
Just wild misses. Like, whoa, what did you think that guy was going to be? Because I think most years teams can kind of at least get the athletic data and compare them to other combines and be like, at least athletically, there's a comparison here. But you don't know if these combine handheld numbers correlate to combine numbers at all. It's hard to compare these players.
Oh, there's 25 times the 4.3s than there ever has been in any combine. It's like everybody's running in 4.3s this year. And it's all handheld times, and I don't trust any of it.
Yeah, so you're going to stake a very important decision on that imperfect data. Good luck.
Unless it's you, the one that's doing the clocking for the team. I mean, I wouldn't trust anybody's hand time because, I think there's probably 30 wide receivers and corners this year that's running the 4.3s, and we ain't never had that many. Usually in an entire combine, there ain't maybe 10 people running the 4.3s from everybody.
All of a sudden, like 10 people per team. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just, I don't trust any of it, what's going on this year. But, like I said earlier, though, the Niners have to hit home runs on at least 4 of the picks. They can't they can't end this draft and only have one guy that actually made an impact on this team. Don't have first rounds the next 2 years. You got to make these things count now.
Agree. And if you just tuned in, we're about done with our show, but we did a mock draft. And the interesting thing to me is that we didn't share our results at all. We came in not knowing what the other person picked, and we independently both predicted that the Niners would take Trey Lance with the number 3 pick for different reasons. But I think it's interesting. It's not necessarily the player I would take. If they do take Justin Fields or Mac Jones, I'd get it. But we both think it's going to be Trey Lance. And
I'm a Zach Wilson guy, and I think it's going to be Trey Lance.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons. My sources in the league just don't believe it's going to be Mac Jones, and I trust him. I think Mac Jones would be so unpopular that the Niners can't do it. And I think maybe, float that it's going to be Mac Jones, and then when it's Trey Lance, Niner fans are relieved and happy as opposed to disappointed that it's not Justin Fields. Maybe there's something like that going on. I don't know. Anyway. Michael, thanks so much for coming on. It was fun to do a mock draft. I appreciate that you coaxed one out of me.
I like your picks too.
You did a great job.
We're thinking about the same. Just absolutely. A little different.
I will see you this weekend on the Cohn phone. Hopefully, I'm going to be out of town, but I'll still be working. So I'll be in an undisclosed location. I'll see you.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.